Hey cats, what's happening?
What's up, beautiful people?
What do you think, V? Is it time to put the old Hemi up for the winter?
I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful day, and we talked about doing some camping, but I don't think it's going to happen. She always sings me the song, "It's lovely weather for us," or, well, no, she does a different twist on it. "It's ugly weather for a sleigh ride together with you." A little twist on her Christmas carol. She sings that to me all summer.
It's sunny and it's pretty.
Yeah, so it's ugly weather for a sleigh ride. Now, this winter, she'll probably switch it up back to it's
lovely weather.
Lovely weather for a sleigh ride together. But, anyway, moving on from there, we know you guys have followed us through a lot of adventures. We've been camping, we've been on the motorcycle, we've taken you to festivals, we've done all kinds of stuff together. And we want to keep doing that. But right now we're kind of living a different kind of adventure. I don't even know if we'd call it an adventure.
It's a frightening adventure, very scary. And I'm going to try not to ugly cry people. I want you to remember me looking good.
It's cold out today. What's the temperature here?
48.
It's 48 degrees and it's a little breezy. I mean, we've got some jackets on, and if it wasn't for the sunshine, it would be downright. Because this morning it was 30 degrees. That's below freezing. So we turned the furnace on in the Hemi just to keep anything from freezing up. But I think we're going to winterize it this weekend.
Yeah,
put it away. I don't think there's going to be any more campouts, not this season. Let's go in where it's a little more comfortable.
Okay.
Nice and cozy in here. Let's have a seat on the couch here. Well, we've been going through a lot here lately, an awful lot. It's been
almost 2 months.
A whirlwind. It started out, I think, in February. V started having some pain in her ribs. Yeah, right under her right side there. And we thought it was a fracture or something, so we went to the doctor and we got x-rays, and the doctor said, "I don't see any fractures, and it could be a hairline fracture that just didn't show up on the x-ray." He said, "Let's keep an eye on it. Let me know if it still hurts." So, what, the pain went away?
Yeah, it went away like he said. He said, give it about a week or so. He said it should stop hurting. So I did, and it quit hurting.
It quit hurting. So that was the end of that until
August,
when the pain came back. The same pain. Only it came back with a vengeance. It hurt her so bad you couldn't even touch her there. It was so sore.
I couldn't lay down. I dreaded bedtime because it hurt tremendously to get in bed and lay down. It felt like huge pressure in there.
Yeah, so that was the first clue that we needed to try to figure out and get to the bottom of it. We went back to the doctor, and he looked at it, and he said, "I'm going to have to send you right to the hospital, so go straight to the emergency room," because he said, "I think there's something going on in there." He wasn't sure what it was.
He was guessing maybe pancreatitis, or he said, even though I don't have a gallbladder, he said, you can still get stones that will go in the bile duct, and he said, I think that's what's going on.
Yeah, so we had no clue. So at the hospital, they decided to run more tests, and they ended up doing an MRI.
No, they did a CT scan with contrast, with dye in it.
Okay. What, are you trying to be in the video too?
She has something to say.
Oh my gosh.
Come here. Come here. It's okay.
This is Lucy. We call her Lily Bell.
She just likes
Apparently
attention.
she wants to be in the video too.
August 27th.
August 27th, they showed a scan, and it showed something in Val's lung. They call it a nodule. So that created a snowball of effects to try to figure out what this nodule was.
First, they referred me to a pulmonary doctor because of it being the lung and breathing. So he explained that there was a nodule there, And he said it could be either scar tissue from a previous bad cold or infection. He said, or it could be a cancerous nodule. And the only way to find out, he said, I want you to go get tests in this order. He said, first, we're going to do a breathing test because I want to do a lung biopsy and I want to make sure that you're going to have the capacity to breathe should we damage your lung, that the other lung can breathe for you. So I went and got the breathing test. I went and got the lung biopsy. And I complained to him about the pain in my ribs, and he told me to go see a pain management doctor, which I did the day after I had a PET scan. And the PET scan, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but you're injected with a nuclear sugar. Cancer, like it adheres to the sugar, or it adheres to the cancer cells in your body, and it glows on the PET scan. So I had all that done. The PET scan came back and it said right on there, not for patient viewing.
But the pain management doctor, we thought, kind of stepped over his boundaries. And he told Val right away, he said, who's your cancer doctor? And she was pretty much in shock. She goes,
I couldn't even speak.
She goes, cancer doctor? What are you talking about? He said, oh, nobody told you? Well, you have cancer, and it's real bad. And so that was our very first inclination that something was really terribly wrong, and that was quite a shock, and his presentation was absolutely awful. So we left there just blown away, not really knowing what the heck's going on here. And we had this technical report that he gave us that said not for patient viewing. We looked up all the words on the internet to see what they were, because they were all medical jargon, which we didn't understand. And by putting the words together and trying to figure it out ourselves, it pretty much said that she had suspected cancerous cell growth, and yet nothing was definitive. They couldn't really say for sure.
That was on September 18th that I had the PET scan. I saw the pain management doctor September 19th, which was a whole different experience. I canceled my appointments from here on out. I don't want to go back to him. September 25th, I had the lung biopsy. They went through my chest, and you have to be awake for it. So he just used lidocaine on my skin, and he cut a hole, and he went in with a needle into the nodule in my lung, and he took 7 samples. I felt each and every sample. I begged them to give me more medicine because I could feel it. And he finally said, it's in a bad spot. It's right by a major blood vessel. And he said, we're just going to stop right here. So I kind of had an inkling that this isn't going to be good. He didn't get what he needed. He said the nodule was so small, he couldn't get enough samples. So sure enough, it says wait 3 to 5 days, call your pulmonary doctor and get the results. I called the pulmonary doctor Friday morning, and the girl took a message. Okay, we'll get your message to the doctor. By 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, I still had not heard anything. So I called again, and they said, he has your message. I'm not sure when he'll call, if it's going to be after hours, but he will call you. Went into the evening, no phone call. 10 o'clock, I checked my email, and there's an email from the doctor's patient portal. Says, patient has a neuroendocrine tumor, needs to see oncologist. That's on a Friday night at 10 o'clock.
So again, no official word from a doctor, just a report that she received through her patient portal online.
That report was for the lung biopsy.
Yeah, if she wouldn't have gone in and entered her password and looked at her patient portal, she would not have gotten that information. But there was the report for the lung biopsy right there.
So then we followed up again. We went back to the pulmonary and he explained to us, he said, if you're going to have a tumor, a neuroendocrine tumor is the kind to have. He said, however, some can be non-aggressive and some can be aggressive. I am going to refer you to an oncologist. And he did get me in to see the oncologist the next day. So the oncologist was not happy with the reports. He pointed out the words, scant samples, too few. He said, I want to send you for, here we go, more tests. I want you to go get a rib biopsy, which again, you have to be awake for. They gave me fentanyl to calm me, and they went in and took samples out of my rib. Then I had to go for a brain scan, and that was an MRI, which took probably 45 minutes. They put an IV and put dye in so it would highlight. And then I went for an upper endoscopy because something was glowing in my stomach. And we got the results this past Monday.
So Monday we had an appointment with the oncologist, and it was like opening the package because the oncologist was the final word. He was the top dog in this matter. He would give us the definitive results as to what the tests said. And we went into his office and sat down. The first thing he did was pull up the image of her brain scan, and we were shocked when he showed us there was a large tumor on her brain and also a small one. So he explained that the cancer was following through her bloodstream and pretty much through her whole body.
Because it started in the lung. So it has an open path to your blood and just spreads.
They call it small cell cancer, very aggressive cancer. We've been told if you're going to get cancer, it's the very worst kind to get. To make it worse, V has it throughout her whole body right now. And so the oncologist immediately, I mean right then and there, set up radiation treatments for her brain because he said the brain is prime real estate. The skull encloses the brain, and so there's no room for it to expand. So if this tumor continues to grow in her brain, it could cause a stroke or some serious other issues, and we need to get it done now. Therefore, radiation was started immediately. He called the radiation doctor personally right there and set it up, and he said, we got to get her in now. And so they did. They said, well, you're going to head up to Strongsville, about an hour drive for us, and start the radiation treatment. So that's where we're at. It's been extremely hard news to swallow that all of a sudden everything comes to a screeching halt, and the news has just been pretty devastating for us.
Oh, that's not the end of it. November 1st, I get a port put in my chest, and November 5th, 6th, and 7th, I will have chemotherapy.
Yeah. And each time she gets a treatment, unfortunately, the treatments knock her down. This is what, your third radiation today that we had? We just got back from radiation. So the radiation is done on her brain alone. That's the only thing they can do to take care of the brain tumors. They can't do chemotherapy at the same time that they're doing radiation, so we have to do 10 days of radiation every day, and when that's done, then November 5th, I think it is, they're going to start chemotherapy.
And it's a whole day. I'm there for 6 hours on November 5th, and then the 6th and 7th, each of those sessions is 90 minutes. And they tell me I will be very, very ill.
Very ill.
He's already prescribed Dilaudid for me, and he's prescribed 2 different nausea and vomiting medicines, and You know, it's easy for them to tell you it's important to eat and make sure you eat, but I already feel nauseous. I haven't vomited, but I already have the constant stomach ache from the radiation and nerves.
And she's got to eat. I keep telling her she's got to eat to keep her strength up, but already she's losing her appetite from the radiation.
And I'm trying to keep positive. I mean, when we met with the oncologist on Monday, all I heard was small cell cancer aggressive. Mark said he heard the doctor say that he was optimistic we could beat this. Once I heard the bad news, I couldn't focus on anything else. I was just like in shock.
We did hear it's optimistic, and we've been trying to stay very positive. That's very hard to do, though, when somebody tells you you have the most worst kind of cancer you can possibly have.
And yesterday, the radiation oncologist met with me by myself. Next Wednesday, Mark's coming in, and he said to me, you need to understand, this is an aggressive cancer. He said, if you were to get a weed in your yard, this is the worst kind of weed to get and the worst kind of weed to get rid of. And he said, we can't cure it. He said, we may be able to put it in remission. And he said, but we don't know for how long, a year, 2 years, 3 years. He said, what you do have in your favor is that you're fit and healthy. How do you tell someone they have an aggressive cancer, but yet they're fit and they're healthy? It doesn't seem right.
Well, I think he was saying that because she is physically in good shape. I mean, up to this point, if nobody told us that she had cancer, you wouldn't know it because she'd be out doing everything.
If my ribs hadn't hurt, I would not have gone to the doctor.
She's got so much energy. She's so wound up. She's always ripping around doing something. She likes to hike and camp and ride on the motorcycle. And like I said, if somebody wouldn't have told us that this is going on, we would still be...
I would not know. I probably would have died of a stroke.
That's what they said.
Tumor.
Eventually, the tumor in the brain would have caused a massive stroke or something. So, what do you do? How do you prepare for this, you know?
Any tips? Any words?
And,
I just
and
don't
they,
even know.
They talked to her and said, you know, you need to start making some preparations. So when somebody tells you that, that's about the most scariest thing they can tell you.
Well, they asked me if I had burial plans made. They asked me if I had a will. And I told the girl, she was a social worker, and I said, you know, you're really scaring me. I said, you're making it sound like I'm going to walk out of here and keel over. And she said, oh, I ask these questions of everyone. Same questions to everyone.
So where do we go from here? I don't know. Right now, everything is consumed with Val. And every day, the biggest part of our day is getting her to treatment and back. And trying to deal with the routines and then trying to keep her comfortable. So, like I said, when we started this video, I think we're going to put the camper up for the season and get it winterized and get it put away, because at this point it doesn't look like we're going to do any camping. This treatment is going to push us all the way through November, and by then we're going to be into the winter time. So we appreciate you guys' support. You know, we love our viewers. We appreciate the subscriptions and the views and the thumbs up. We appreciate the comments, and we will appreciate your guys' support too.
And I don't want people to feel sorry for me. That's not why we're doing this. I was hoping I could hear words of encouragement and stories of survivors, if you know people that have had this kind of cancer, because they paint such a doom and gloom. And I realize the doctors can't tell me it's going to be good, it's all going to be good, you're going to be fine. I guess they paint a doom and gloom picture, and if I come out to be a survivor, then it works out well. But it's just a doom and gloom. I wake up in the middle of the night and I can hear these doctors talking clear as day, and then I can't get back to sleep because I'm just like, think, think, think.
So the cancer word is not a pretty word, and we didn't want to hear it, but it's a reality in our life right now. Something we never dreamed we would be doing right at this moment. So we'll keep you guys posted. We'll try to get some positive videos up here as we can, but until then,
Make your life a better adventure. Don't wait to do stuff. Do it now.